Well, good morning and welcome to Let's Talk Stroke. And thank you for being here. I'm your host and stroke survivor, Jerry Wald. And thank you guys for being here. And for those of you guys who are new, I started doing this show to bring awareness to stroke, TBI, aphasia, brain injury, and also to provide a platform for survivors to share their journeys from all across the world. So this morning, we have Angelia and Rachel on this morning, and we'll get into uh, what their story is all about and what they do now, how they have come a long way, inspiring way to now using alternative methods post stroke with yoga and breath work, which I probably need that. Probably need to do that. But anyway, so please ask questions, make comments, and don't be shy. And aphasia, Phil, nice to see you here. So and Catherine, and if we missed your comments, we'll get back to you after the show. And but thank you guys for being here. So anyway, let's go ahead and bring our guest on. Okay, I didn't. Anyway, nice to see you guys, Rachel and Angelia.
Hi.
Wow.
Hi.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just trying to figure. I don't know which we want to start with. Either one of you. I mean, um, Rachel, we haven't talked in probably 3 years at least.
Right.
And I know Angelia, you weren't you were on the show not too long ago. So but Rachel, maybe we'll start with you. Like who is Rachel? Like before you had a stroke 16 years ago, right?
Yeah, I
Wow,
was a baby. I was 25
25.
and just had my second child and was just kind of at a point where I didn't really know what to do. Physical therapists often didn't know what to do with me because of my age and just my vigor, I guess, for life. And I just stumbled into a yoga class during a day rehab program that um, I was in, and like it wasn't offered in the day rehab program, it was in a different building. So I had to go outside of it, get the yoga class, and then I was like kind of blown away by what that did for me
Yeah.
because I had never done yoga before. I'm not like I wasn't a yoga instructor prior. I only came into yoga since my stroke, and it yoga just like blew me away. Like
Oh,
I had already been rehabilitating for about 5 years or so when I took this
oh,
class. So, and I was walking in with an AFO. I think I even had a cane. The teacher was so sweet to me, and I just fell in love. I literally knew that this was something that, like, it was the only thing that really helped me feel better. Right? Like, I left that class feeling like, I mean, I literally like remember the feeling like very clearly because I left and I was just like, well, that's different.
yeah.
Right? Like that, it was like a mental, like, clearing of all the stuff that I just felt kind of like I was leaving on a cloud,
Right.
floating. And like, so then I was like, well, what is that? Because in my own ignorance, I really didn't know what yoga was, right? I just went into it kind of bored and like, hey, I'll try it. And
Yeah.
now I try it and I'm like, okay, I love this.
Yeah.
And like, why was I not told about this earlier?
Yeah.
Right? Why did
Yeah.
I have to find this on my own? And started the process of learning more yoga, right? I was just like, I want to just learn more. So I was like, let me take a teacher training. Let me get going with classes. I started doing classes 2, 3 times a week with a teacher, and just like literally, it just touched my heart. Like
Yeah.
the practice in a way that like I mean I had never really been a spiritual person or a person that liked to exercise or anything. So it was a totally new world for me. And
Yeah.
I just was like learning so much about yoga and just like falling in love more and more,
Yeah.
and never
That's
really wanted to teach. But then once I finished the teacher training, stroke survivors were like, hey, I want to do that. And I was like, well, okay, I guess now this is my calling to teach, right? So I started with like a small hospital group, support stroke support group teaching, and people were just so interested that I was like, okay, Rachel, you got to do this. Like you really got to do this because there's like such a void for this and such a just a need for this within our community. And so then I just like went even harder into the yoga world. Like I got my 200 certification, 200-hour certification. And I went to India. Since we've talked, went to India, got my 300-hour training, which makes me a 500-hour teacher, which is able to allow me to teach other people to be teachers.
wow. Because
Which,
I know when I first heard about yoga, or I took a class by a friend of mine who was wheelchair yoga, and because she had a stroke and she was in a wheelchair, I thought I went because of her, because she was a friend. I thought this is for me in the beginning. I said this is boring. I don't want to. But then after an hour of it, I was freaking tired. I was so exhausted for yoga. I mean, trying to learn what it is. So I know what you're saying, and you and Angelia you work together now, right? Because
right.
Angelia, you were on the show, obviously, and we talked about your journey of what you're going through, and we talked about um, yeah, your stroke and what you're doing now. So it's pretty
Right,
awesome. So you two are do I say partners at this?
Yeah, I
right,
would say
right.
we are that's I was kind of getting to that point of now that I can train other teachers, Angelia and I have collaborated in this amazing just place for stroke survivors to not even stroke survivors, I should say trauma survivors
Yeah,
to come and to learn yoga through either one of us or to apply for the teacher training themselves to become a yoga teacher in their own community. Right. So we're
yeah,
starting like a I should let maybe Angelia speak about the training because the idea here is that we want to form a yoga school that is operating as a nonprofit to give low cost or free classes, teacher trainings, workshops to stroke survivors. So it's not so difficult for us to learn about this stuff and to get this information. So her and I are kind of a powerhouse together, just collaborating on all these different ideas
Hmm.
of teaching workshops and whatnot. But she also has a breath project that she does
yeah,
and her own qualifications that are different from mine. So it's kind of a nice pairing that
yeah.
we complement each other. So I would call it a partnership or a collaboration or a I don't
Right.
know, whatever. I'm gonna
No,
shut
that's good.
up and let
You work.
Angelia talk.
Yeah, you
Oh,
Uh,
I
work.
see that comment from Aubrey. If you want to be a teacher, reach out to one of us. We will definitely get you connected into the teacher training. There's a new training starting up in January, and there's scholarship offered opportunities that are for every stroke survivor. There's only a limited amount of spots. So if this is something you're serious about, we definitely recommend that you get on board right away. First off, I really want to just say hi to everybody. My name's
Yeah,
Angelia. I'm a stroke survivor and I'm about 6.5 years out.
yeah,
The stroke journey left my relationship with my body so completely destroyed that when I met Rachel, she became like a guiding light back into connecting me, not just in the physical space, but also neurologically. And the training that she offered me prior to me even taking the teacher training was so profound. So, and it was building that relationship back with myself, neurologically, emotionally, spiritually, because I was left in such a disconnected space. And Rachel taught me that yoga is for every body, every single body. It doesn't matter where you're at or where you start or where your brain is at, looking
Yeah.
at the deficiencies that you have. We like to start where we like to meet you where you are and see what the potential is, and build on that, even if it's the smallest movement, build on that, because small movement is good movement. All
Yeah.
movement is good movement, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's like a rebuilding of that body and mind connection. And healing happens on many different levels. It's not just a physical level. This
Right.
is a neurological level and a spiritual level. And that's what this training has really taught me. And when I dove into the training with Rachel, I didn't expect to receive such a profound transformation. I wasn't really sure what to expect. So I just dove in completely willing and excited
Yeah.
about what I was about to encounter and learn.
Did
And
it?
the training that Rachel has developed is incredible.
Right.
I can't say enough good things about it.
Did it help with, because I know a big part of, as we know, stroke, the emotional part of it kind of just tugs on you. You know how this all is. Does it help with your emotional part of this? Did it, or
It,
does it?
immensely,
Mentally.
Emotional, physical, spiritual, it's all of it, right?
all of it.
Mental, it's literally all of it. And I think just to touch on what Angelia said is that mainstream yoga, or the yoga that we see out in the world, often gives us a kind of disrupted impression of what yoga really is,
Yeah.
because it's become so commercialized and so just gymnastical, and the pants and the outfit and all that stuff. And so this is a very different approach to yoga. This is not the like what is it, hot yoga, power yoga, that sort of thing. It really is a deep dive into the emotions, into the emotional state,
Right.
emotional regulation, mental. I mean, if we get down to the like the bare bones of what yoga is a practice that helps calm the mind.
Right.
Okay, the physical body is simply an additive to that process, right? Like doing the poses, doing the postures, but yoga itself is about, we call it, calming the fluctuations of the mind. I love the word fluctuation
Right.
so much, because I think that describes exactly what goes on in our minds, right? Like there's a lot
Absolutely.
of fluctuating.
Rose, we
And
will definitely post that information out. I'm sure Jerry will connect links as well.
Yes.
yeah,
You
there's
know,
links, there's websites you can get online, follow us on Instagram. Both of us like
mhm, on
have our
Facebook,
pages. There's websites, there's all kinds of ways you will not find us. Like we are
right?
here and
Easy
we
to
are
find.
being very
I just
loud
want to
about this.
say,
Yeah.
too, through breath and slow, mindful movement in all of this, I started to notice how my brain was rewiring.
Hmm.
And that was a very powerful place to be. The neural networks and pathways started developing very clearly where I could see them. I could tangibly feel them. I was noticing them on a daily basis. And I still have moments where I catch myself thinking momentarily, oh, I'm not sure if I can do that. But then I move into it slowly and methodically and breathing very intentionally. And surprise, I can do it. And these things, it just deeply supported the neuroplasticity that I was building within my body. And I want to just firmly put out there, neuroplasticity is something that never stops.
Right.
It doesn't matter what happens in your body. And this is something I will repeat loudly till the day I die. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how young you are. There's no factor that is going to stop that component from being present in your body. It's just about learning how to support this. And the program that Rachel has designed, the school that Rachel has designed, is a phenomenal tool to dive deeply into those aspects that cause blocks and allow you to bloom from that. It has
I love that
been
word, bloom, right?
right.
Yeah,
It's
such
been
a
such a
good.
profound thing to implement. And it's also been just a beautiful way to add into the breath work and the trauma work that I'm already doing. And her and I are collaborating now, and we're holding space for classes, and we have a workshop coming up. Do we want to talk about the workshop?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's find out where,
yeah,
when and what it's all about.
yeah. I want to pause for a moment and just say hi to John, because John is a new stroke survivor coming to yoga, right?
Yeah.
Coming to, yeah, there you go. I'm enjoying both classes, struggling, but getting better, right? And that's the thing, is that people either think yoga is really boring, really easy, or too hard for them. And I mean, we're going to be honest with y'all. It's not the easiest thing in the world when you first come to it. It's a little bit like, wait, what? You want me to do what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
right? And you definitely, those first few classes, you're like tired,
Yeah.
really
Oh,
tired,
I know.
like really, really tired. So it's something that is just important to stick with and to keep coming back to. And to, we both kind of look at it like an opportunity to be curious. And that's what the workshop is kind of
All
building,
about.
right? Is this curiosity about your body after a stroke, about your nervous system, because we're not just talking about physical deficits. We're talking about PTSD. We're talking about deep trauma.
Yeah.
We're talking about emotional regulation, depression, anxiety. Like, there's a lot of layers, a lot of layers, as we all know, right?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, the workshop is going to be a more detailed kind of explanation, not just of yoga, but of the nervous system and why this is helpful after a stroke. You know, why would a stroke survivor want to do yoga? Well, the workshop is going to give lots of details. We plan on sharing lots of research, because there is a ton of medical research that has been done on this,
Right.
saying that, post stroke yoga helps with da 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 da. And so we want to share that with the community so that
Yeah.
people really have an understanding of everything, like
Right.
it all.
Right.
And so it's going to be a 2-hour online workshop
Oh,
that's
it's 2 hours.
free. Yeah,
Wow.
it's gonna be a
Not just a
kind of
study, it's not just education. We're going to be actually practicing as well.
practicing.
We're going to get into a nice asana practice, and then we're going to explore the breath a little deeper too. And the highlight of it is the learning experience that we're bringing to the table to teach you a little bit about the energy that's behind all of this and what's happening in your body when these traumatic events happen.
Yeah. Yeah. When is it? Is it on certain days too?
The
We
workshop.
we haven't narrowed down dates yet. We are planning on doing it the first week of November, and we're going to bring it back for 2 rounds the first week of December. And once we have dates narrowed down, we're going to go ahead and put all that information out. But please keep your eyes open, follow us, and connect with us For sure.
Right.
So you can be sure to get registered for this. This is a no cost event for the stroke surviving community, friends and family, caretakers as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
So,
good. That's good.
yes.
Yeah, that's great. Because when I first took it, it was an at 1 hour. I was exhausted. Now you're saying 2 hours?
Well, it's gonna be it's not 2 hours
With
of full practice,
yeah.
right? It is, I guess, kind of a expectation for stroke survivors to sit for 2 hours and listen to something a little bit. But we're not just going to be talking. There's videos that we're showing. There's
Okay.
drawings, colorings. There's a whole like downloadable coloring book with like visuals to really like reinforce this into our own bodies. So it's going to be fun. It's not just going to be like a whole 2 hours of yoga, right?
Practice.
Because the 2 hour
Yeah.
yoga class can be long. But also the movement, I kind of think that every yoga class should be about an hour and a half so that you have an hour for movement and a half an hour for breathing and kind of decompressing after.
Yeah.
Nobody's broken or damaged or any of that stuff. We like to refer back to the spiritual, just kind of essence of ourselves, that we are not our bodies, right? We are a different layer of existence. This physical body doesn't need to define us. And it doesn't mean that we're broken. It doesn't mean that we're damaged. It doesn't mean any of that. That's all just kind of in our heads. And like, we hope to get people connecting back to their spirit self, right? Their true self, the true self that has no knowledge of stroke. No, not it's not damaged by the stroke. It's
Right.
protected. It's in here. And that energetic layer is something that we are going to dive into and really explain. I know a lot of people are like, well, what do you mean when you say energy? And we're like, well, come to the workshop and we will tell you all about the energy, that the energetic systems that are running through your body, that quite frankly are a lot more, I would say, important to attend to than our physical body, right? The physical body is a very temporary thing. This is just something that we have for a short time. And to kind of build an attachment to a deeper part of ourselves, I think helps manage all of that like mental stuff where you're like,
Thanks.
now I'm broken, now I'm damaged, now I'm fucked
Right.
up, and I'm just going to be like this. And like, I was not going to accept that,
Yeah.
right? At my age and with my young children. And so, like, yoga was very healing for me, I will say, because it gave me a way to see myself without this disability,
Right.
without all of these deficits, and to just live in my light and
Yeah.
in my truth of being this spiritual being, having this physical experience and being curious about my movement, right? Being curious about, well, what happens if I do that? What happens if I flip myself upside down and get into a headstand? How can I do that?
We're not
How
going to do that.
what that's
We're not doing that in the workshop.
Well, yeah, Rachel, what kind of deficit
thank you
you
for
have?
saying that, Angelia. See, you can see
Your
that
deficits.
the collaboration between us is I'm kind of the one that floats around up here with ideas, and she brings me back down to
Yeah.
ground and says, no, 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 we're not doing that. But in my own time, I just mean that like the things that your body can do, like you have no idea really. You really have no idea until you just take some time and spend a moment being curious
Right.
with it.
What kind of deficits are you dealing with, Rachel?
Oh, good question, right? So after my stroke, I was just paralyzed on my left side, right? Everything was flaccid. And like, I was told that I would never walk, da 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 da. Similar story to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And yoga has helped tremendously with my mind, with my balance, and general, like I would say, energy levels, right? When we talk about brain fatigue and all of that, like that's what it's done for me the most. I still deal with a very challenging hand though.
You do?
This
Okay.
this is the part that I want to highlight is that I don't have full use of my hand and it's very finicky and it has its own mood. Like when it wants to do it, it will. When it doesn't, it doesn't. And that doesn't stop me from being a yoga teacher, right? Like there
Yeah,
are other
absolutely.
ways to do stuff. I'm very involved with the yoga community and with like the new things that the yoga community is putting out. And there are lots of really interesting ways to do poses that you wouldn't really even think of. I
Right.
mean, my left arm, when I stopped therapy, my left arm was stuck at my side.
Yeah.
And I was discharged and told that I was going to stay like
Yeah.
this.
I've been. Yeah.
Right? And so with just yoga, this extension and this extension
Wow, that's great.
is happening just like on its own, right? It's nothing that I'm forcing or what. It's just like there's movement back, right? There's all this movement that's coming back. And I am hopeful that at some point that energy is going to trickle into my hand,
Woohoo!
right? Because I see a lot of huge just changes in my body every day still. So it's like, huh, that's interesting. And yeah, finding I just encourage stroke survivors to not be so set on like doing yoga the way that it looks in a picture or in a magazine or something, and not being concerned with yoga. Stroke survivors are always about the hand,
Yeah.
right? They're always fiddling with the hand, they're always opening the hand, they're always, oh, I want to move, here, and moving the hand and all that. And anatomically speaking, like we, part of what's in the workshop is giving stroke survivors an understanding of the body and of the moving the arm from the bigger point of the body, the shoulder or the bicep, not to be flinging the, I mean, this was all I did in rehab was like grabbing, holding, moving. And I had no education about the muscles of your arm and your shoulder are actually in your core.
Yeah.
We're talking about these muscles here. So breathing, actually just breathing, can move that shoulder girdle up and back. And it's just the breath.
Yeah.
Like it's just the breath. Marina, hi. Marina is a old friend,
Yeah.
old friend, right?
We love Marina.
Yeah, right.
We love everyone.
We love totally. Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
I really want to highlight too, the breath is the greatest medicine. And of course, I'm going to say that. I developed a project called the Breath Lady Project, and this is how I have been focusing my healing. And this is the one thing that I really love about the training that I got with Rachel's school and what she's developed is that it's very breath focused. It teaches the mind and body this sense of safety that was lost when the body took the impact from the stroke. And inhibiting or inhabiting that sense, embracing, embodying that sense of safety back into your nervous system allows the body to really begin a communication that is quite different than just sitting in the body and just breathing to stay alive. Like you can breathe to simply survive. but we're not talking about survival. We're talking about shifting that nervous system response from survival into something that is a little bit more powerful and allowing the body to embrace safety again. These are really important components when it comes to any healing journey, no matter what it looks like. And that loss of safety in your mind can really impact and block any healing that you're trying to achieve, any, advancement or progress that you're really trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first to testify to that. I spent the first 2 years very locked up in my brain and very depressed and very full of anxiety. My God, I was so riddled with anxiety. I couldn't go anywhere by myself. I couldn't do anything by myself because I just let it overtake me. And I was over 2 years into this journey whenever I found all of this. And just like Rachel has said, I was at a place where every single professional I saw consistently said to me, you need to learn how to accept and adapt into what your body is now, because it's not going to change. And it has changed. I have range of movement. I have alignment. I have moderately good balance. My deficiencies are still actually at the bottom of me. It's on my foot, and I deal with a foot that just is very slowly achieving progress, and that's okay. We're working on it, and I'm not going to stop working on it. I think, for me, the biggest thing I want to leave people with is don't give up on yourself. Don't do that to
I
yourself.
want to highlight John's comment here because he says he noticed movement that he wasn't even aware he could do, and he's only a couple weeks into the class. Literally, he comes to class and he's like, I didn't know I could do that.
Right.
And my heart was just like so full in that moment because I'm like, that is what we want stroke survivors to embrace, not trying to get back to the person that they were, their old self, but this new person that now is exploring all these new things and new movements. And hey, I didn't know that if I raised my elbow, I could touch it to my opposite knee and take a breath and a twist and kind of wake up something in my breath that makes me feel better, right? Like that's such a gift to give people. And Marina is saying that she took a course. Marina is old friend back when I lived in Virginia, and she is a true soldier for this cause because she knows how much mindfulness and breath work has helped her. And
that's great, Marina.
Miss you too, Marina.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is I'm glad to see all these comments about this because I did one couple classes, so I'm looking forward to you guys because this is not like you're both stroke survivors and you're I'm just gonna start this class and I know nothing about it. You both are certified. You have great resumes and I know that. So I don't know if we should. I don't know if anybody reads the promos that I posted, but maybe.
And I apologize. I think I sent you a lot of information.
Oh no, it's okay. So
I went back and read that. I was like,
no,
oh my
but
God.
that's totally cool.
But yeah, that's a good point because like we're not just people that like yoga and decided to teach it because hey, it's a passion or whatever. No, we decided to go through the proper channels of becoming yoga teachers. She's a trauma practitioner. She's also a breath coach. I myself am just a yoga instructor at a 500-hour level. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very I want to emphasize that is something that people I went to India just as a stroke survivor. I didn't go to a different studio. I went with all the regular people. I wanted to put myself right in it to see what it was like and to see how the yoga community receives someone like this. And I will say that in India, it was very much more accepted than in America. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, the training is important to bring up. I'm glad you brought that up because it is something that we're both very proud of. And as a 500 level teacher, I can certify other people to become teachers. And that was kind of like my whole goal when I first talked to you, Jerry. I was like,
Yeah.
I have an idea. I think I can make a school and I can teach stroke survivors to teach yoga. And it was just an idea. And now I'm like, we're building it. Her and I are doing it. And let's see, I'm going to type in here.
Yeah.
It's just
I can.
My Yoga Will is mine. And then the Breath Lady Project, right,
Yes.
is yours. So you can find us on Facebook, Instagram. I'm going
LinkedIn.
to put, it's also the same as the same as the website. So it's just thebreathlady.com and myyogawill.com. Those are two websites that you can get a ton of information.
Oh, Marina's got an interesting question.
Let's see. Where's Marina? It's so good to see you always, Marina.
I don't know what you call it, but I like it when you take the breath in and make it go to the area that's painful. I don't know what you call it, but I don't know if you're seeing it. Go there where you're making breath work go to the pain. It really works. That is a really good point because, like, okay, let's say we're in a yoga class, right? And I'm like, take a breath into your right shoulder, right? People are like, what? Right? My right shoulder can't breathe, right? But what Marina is saying is it's that awareness that if you have an area of your body that is troubling, let's say, or hurting, you can actually pause. And what we mean by breathing into the shoulder is simply pausing, taking a breath as you say in your mind, my shoulder, right? That's all you have to do. That's literally like all it is. There's no special name for that. I would just say it's a breath awareness. We sometimes call it yoga nidra, which is like a body scan that you're kind of bringing
Body mapping.
attention to the body, kind of bringing the body online, like left shoulder, right hip, left hip. And simply by saying the command and breathing, you're sending the breath there. So you don't have to do anything to
Right.
get the right shoulder to
It's an
breathe.
activation,
Other
really,
than you
is
think it.
it's activating those spots with breath focused awareness. And that activation can be very powerful. Where the mind goes, the body will follow, right? So
Yeah.
like you have to keep that in mind with the breath. And the breath is like
Yeah.
just like movement, it's a necessity. It's a part of what our body needs. And we
Yeah.
breathe every day upwards of 22,000 times a day. I personally want to be consciously connected into those breaths. So my body is receiving the oxygen, not just on the outer surface of my body, but inner surface on a cellular level. So I want to focus the awareness in to where that breath is going through my body intentionally.
Right? Yeah, the
Right.
breath is something that really is so special because I look at
Yeah.
it like it's something that we can do without thinking about it or with thinking about it. And that's the only function of our body that is like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Have
We can
you?
do it thinking about it or not thinking about it. And so that just makes it kind of a very unique feature of our body that it is something that carries on even when we're not cognitively connected
Yeah.
to it. But if we are consciously and cognitively connected to it, there's more power there, right? There's
Right.
more healing potential there. And that's what we want to encourage people, that they can harness. Harness your own
Right.
breath, harness your own healing. You can take it up, you can take it down, and you can also say, you know what, this is just not for me. Right?
Can I just ask you one thing is first of all, Bo, nice to see you. It's been a long time. Did you have you both or not, I can't remember subluxation since you're doing like arm work or stuff like that? Have you both had or have you experienced subluxation? Because I have. It's getting better because I'm going to the gym, but I wonder how that would help me.
I have not myself experienced subluxation, but I have worked with people that have.
Okay,
And
good.
the idea behind, again, I'm not a medical doctor, like I can't diagnose, I can't treat, yada,
Yeah,
yada. I have to say that for my own ass, right? To not get in trouble. But essentially, we have a whole part about this in the teacher training, the muscles of the shoulder that kind
yeah,
of hold, like the shoulder is kind of like a vacuum suck that the ball and socket joint kind of vacuums inside there and stays, and then gives us all this rotation. When it subluxes or when it disconnects, it just kind of hangs from the shoulder, and it can be quite painful, right? It can be quite
right.
painful. And so there are not only just stretches that help ease that pain, but as far as I believe, like building up muscles through your core and
Yeah,
through breathing. That, like, the shoulder muscles, most of your shoulder muscles are accessory breathing muscles. So these
Right.
are muscles that are going to move and are going to build when you breathe.
yeah,
Doing things like exercises that PTs have you do, I quite frankly don't find them to be valuable, because it's not bringing that mind body connection back. It's maybe giving the muscles a little stimulation, but we want to go deeper into what's supporting the shoulder. I know I keep saying the side
no,
body, but your serratus anterior is such a big part of all of that support for your shoulder to have support so that it doesn't just flop out,
Yeah.
yeah,
right? And so, breath, I would say breath, building breath and building, like, breath. I don't even, this is where my ignorance comes in again. Maybe like building a breath tolerance. Is that the right word, Angelia? Building a
It's
breath, like building
building
those
a
muscles up. Yeah.
right. It's building an actual like carbon tolerance in your body to build the body's core, right? And the core is what holds the upper body up. I dealt with a lot of shoulder issues.
yeah.
And I'm not sure if they were classified as subluxation or what you said. I never really
Subluxation.
investigated it further because I had learned with Rachel, and I was working on trying to pull alignment back into my body along with the movement, pairing it with a very intensive breath practice that I practice daily. This has allowed my body to strengthen in the core from the shoulder girdle down to the hips,
Right.
Yeah, and
and
yoga kind of looks at the body like it's like building blocks, right? So we're never
right.
going to come into the body, and if you tell me that your shoulder hurts, likely we're not going to the shoulder for that, right? We're going to other places that are going to then support the body and bring back that alignment, because your body knows what it has to do, right? In its deepest, like, programming, your body, your DNA is there to give your body that direction. And so yoga works under the belief that putting the body into alignment is kind of all you need to do, because the body will
Right.
find its way back. Like the
Right.
body will find its the connection back when you're in that aligned space. And that's what a lot of what Angelia and I do is just practice and kind of notice where the body is taking a turn. You know, what's collapsing in the body, making alignment go off. And it's
And it
not
comes
like,
out like in symptoms, like you'll have pain or you'll have soreness, or you'll come, your body speaks to you in many different ways. It's just not a verbal language. It's a physical language that you have to start to learn to interpretate, which is where that breath component is really important, because it slows the busyness of what's happening up in the brain and decreases the stress, increases the chemistry change to allow for pH balance to come back into the body and allow for the body to organically gently shift back into alignment whenever you're using these postures. It is such a powerful practice. I'd really like to see us also talk about our YouTube channel that we are slowly beginning to create. And it's called Adaptive Hatha Yoga. And once we get this online, we're going to post all these neat videos on there teaching people how to do some of these things. And that is going to be available for this community as well. What Rachel and I are working on is a large collaboration, and we are gathering all the pieces and bringing them in to guide others who are
yeah,
interested in this.
the channel, we both personally are going to put our own practices on there just to kind of highlight how we practice. We will practice together at certain points and put that on, and then just highlight certain poses that have been helpful and how to adapt into it, right? How to
Right.
adapt. Oh, I saw this pose that like, or people ask me a lot of times, well, how do I do downward dog? I can't, press into my hand or get my fingers extended. And I'm always like, don't worry about the fingers. Don't worry about the fingers, right? We want to get strong through the heel of our hand, through this connection through our elbow. And there's lots of different ways to do that. So we really are planning on having some fun with like showcasing some of those things on this channel.
you
And I
should.
just want to say,
Absolutely.
Marina also said that the military and
Yeah, I
first
saw that there.
responders really get into this. And that is a good point to make, because all of this mindfulness, it's called mindfulness based stress reduction. That is the breathing and how it relaxes the nervous system. All of that came out of the military for the
Right.
military, right? Because these soldiers were having such PTSD that they had to have a way to give them to cope. And so breathing, they studied it. I mean, they studied it for years and years and found that like a minute of breath work changes the the whole chemistry of your body. 1 minute. So we're not talking about an hour of meditation here or an hour of yoga. We're talking about very simple little 1 minute, 5 minute practices that really you can do sitting in a waiting room for an appointment or sitting in your car waiting to go somewhere. I mean, you don't have to be in a yoga studio or in a yoga space. And that's what we want people to, I guess,
Yeah.
understand from us, is that we're here to kind of bridge the gap between the yoga community and the stroke community and just answer any questions and kind of introduce people to yoga in a way that makes them confident about doing it and connected, really connected with other people, hearing, oh, Jerry did yoga. Oh, I think I could do yoga. That connection is really what this is about, because both of us came into this just on our own. And so we know how hard it is to just navigate. You're a mom, you've had a stroke, you have a house, you're a wife, you're a mother, you're taking care of things, and you don't really have a lot of time to deep dive into all these other healing modalities. And we both did, I think, just out of our own frustration. And now we want
Right.
to make that path for people easier so that it's not such a struggle to get into this. And more
Right.
stroke survivors teaching yoga is obviously the goal, because yoga teachers draw what they are to their class, right? So if you have
Right.
a stroke survivor teaching a class at your local studio, I mean, just imagine that. Like the buzz around that is going to be like, oh my God, there's a stroke survivor teaching. Oh, tell so and so, you know. And then
Yeah,
we
there's
start
so
getting.
many of us. There's so many of us, and we get hidden, because of what's happened, and it's hard to assimilate back into regular societal activity, because of the deficiencies that we struggle with, or, the mindset that we have, or how we're perceiving what's going on with us. And I
Yeah.
think it's really important that we all come out of the woodwork and
Right.
create community, create safe
Yoga, the
community.
yoga community needs to see us. That's my whole
Yes.
belief, is that the yoga community needs to see that we are not a like slow population that can't get this, or like is too damaged to understand the poses, or like a lot of people are just like, no, that's different. I don't want to get involved with that or whatever. And we encourage people to just
Be curious.
reach out to us if you need support, and be brave so that we can be visible in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
yoga community and be heard, really be heard, because this population, honestly,
A
it's
lot.
so ironic to me, because this population is the population that could use yoga literally the most.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, a brain
I know.
injured community. And yet it is the population that is ignored pretty much by
Yeah.
the yoga community altogether. And that
Yeah.
really makes me scratch my head and like get upset, because
Yeah.
like, what the heck? This is
Yeah. No,
something.
I understand.
Yeah.
And we'll put the link. I'll put the links after the show. All the links, so
Please.
out there, so
And
people can get a hold of you.
come join
Get them.
us.
Come
Come
to
join
class,
us
Yeah.
in
Jerry,
the
if you
upcoming
want.
workshop. Reach out to us, and we're here to help whoever's willing figure it out. We're
Yeah.
here to
That-
maybe help put some building blocks or puzzle pieces back together with
Yeah.
you, not for you,
Right.
but with you, for sure.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
love
Yes,
So I
it's
think
beautiful.
right. So Rachel, or well, next, who? Because I know we're coming to
right, coming up on an hour here.
time. So, do you have any last minute? We'll start with you, Rachel. Any last minute hurrahs or anything you want to at least get back out there?
I feel like if people know me, they know that I talk a lot about this.
No, I.
So it's like I think I've said all that I can say. Try yoga in your community. I hear from a lot of people like, hey, I tried yoga. I had yoga in my rehab center or whatever.
Wow.
And that is like, it makes us truly like just really like excited to hear that. And so we just encourage people to keep trying it, reach out. If you were a yoga teacher and you had a stroke and now you think that you can't teach yoga anymore, reach out, because you need to be seen. You need to be visible to the world,
Yeah.
regardless of what condition your body is in. People need to see that this is possible. And that's
Yeah.
where I'll leave it.
No, that's great though. Totally understand. And Angelia?
I ask you all to join us in our workshops that we've got coming up, and be mindful. Breathe. Breathe
Yeah.
deeply with your body. Create space
Yeah.
and find curiosity in this healing journey. This is not a curse. This is a gift. And
I
Yeah.
love that.
curiosity is such a profound place to look at this through, a lens to look at this through. So
We have class for 2 more weeks on Wednesday at 2
Okay.
p.m. Eastern time
Okay.
for about 40 minutes to an hour or so. It's
Okay.
chair yoga, so you can come and literally just sit
Okay.
the whole time.
Yeah.
We also have people that come that want to get on the mat and want to be on the floor. So it's a very inclusive environment for anyone. If
Okay.
you're a person that has practiced for years, if you're someone that doesn't know what it is at all, like you might be lost a little bit, but like we're
And
here for you. We're here to
that's
guide
okay.
you and have fun with it, really. Like yoga
Mhm.
is fun. And
It is all stroke survivors too, which is a really neat way to bring community
Yeah.
together and meet other people that are maybe navigating the same or similar paths, you know?
Yeah.
So
we're
please come
only
join
doing that
us.
till the end of October, though, and then the workshop will be in November. So keep watching us and see, because we put out little like 8-week sessions of chair yoga classes for free. We also do private sessions. I think the first one is always free, and then we do charge. I mean, there are charges for this. They
Yeah.
are minimal, though. If you're going
Yeah,
to a
they are
yoga
very
studio,
supportive.
yeah, if you're going to a yoga studio, you might look at like $150 for a private session or something, whereas we'll do it for like a
Ours are
third of
not
that.
very close to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
we really
we're very
want to
conscious.
make it work for your budget. And, we don't want
One more
money to
thing.
be a reason why people don't try this,
Right.
I also put out a breath session every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. This breath session is recorded. It's live on Facebook and it is recorded. And I put it on my personal Facebook page, and I also share it within a group page called the Breath Lady Project currently, but that name may be changing in the future. So feel free to, watch the rewatch or come join us live. I would love to have more presence with this. It would be wonderful. And this was just such a fabulous opportunity to get the word out for what we're working on. We've got some big things we're bringing in.
Right? Yeah. It's very
That's awesome.
exciting.
Well, I appreciate you guys being on here and sharing with everybody out here. And I'll tell you, if you just stay on. Can't talk real
That's
good,
okay.
but stay on and we'll talk right after here. But thank you guys. I appreciate all the comments and out
Yeah.
here and the questions. Really, really helpful. So
Yeah.
thank you guys.